All right, guys, thank you so much for coming out here today for Eva Gutowski's Q&A, and welcome, Eva.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you guys so much for, like, what? I didn't even know that it was, like, this big of a auditorium, so that's really cool you guys showed up for me. Thank you.
now we're going to try and get through as many questions as possible. They've been coming in for the last hour, so there's a lot of questions. You guys can see up here. Oh wow, that really freaks me out looking up there. We're up there on the big screen. So the hashtag is VidCon Eva, so have them coming through. I'm gonna kick off with a question of my own, actually. We had a bit of an interesting chat yesterday about misconceptions and people coming up to you and thinking that you should just be creating beauty content or style content, and you're like, no, I don't want to be put in a box like that. I want to do things that guys can do, anyone can do. Is that something that's so important, being authentic? Is that the most important part about being a content creator?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys don't know, when I first started YouTube, I watched a lot of videos like Smosh, and I watched Shane Dawson, and like this was back in like 2012. That was the content that I was watching, and when I went onto YouTube and I wanted to start a YouTube channel, I saw girls like Michelle Phan, amazing makeup artist, Ingrid Nilsson, and so I kind of put myself on YouTube and I was like, well, all the girls are kind of doing beauty videos, all the guys are kind of doing comedy sketches. I'm watching comedy sketches, but I'm a girl, so I guess I only fit into the beauty community. So I started making beauty videos. And I didn't even wear makeup at the time. So I went to Forever 21 and I bought a $2 eyeshadow palette, but it was all shimmers. And I was like putting it on my crease and stuff. It was a really bad idea. And I quickly found out that I was horrible at beauty videos. I got a little better now, like I did my makeup today, but yeah. So I made this video called Stuff Beauty Gurus Say. And it like was just a video of me like kind of making fun of like all, you know, the things you do where you like hold makeup and you're like, like that. And the video didn't even do like any better than all my other ones. It performed the same, but the comments were just so much more fulfilling to me. Like, they're like, oh, you're so funny, like this, I love this moment, like, I relate to that. And those are the comments that made me feel fulfilled, and that's when I realized I should be authentic to myself, and if beauty was not what I really, like, my heart felt fulfilled with the comments, and comedy was, I should be myself, and I should do that. And so I started making kind of more comedy videos that were still in like the beauty space, because I still love fashion and beauty, but it definitely wasn't like the #1 thing I wanted to do. And from there it grew to like learning cinematic content and getting really into cameras and lighting and equipment and all of that, and getting a lot of friends, guys and girls. And so my channel kind of became this like really cool space where I could do comedy videos, but also mix them with girly things that I like and guy things that I like. And yeah, it became real good and a well-rounded channel, so yeah.
So is the key to just experiment and just try a bunch of different things to find what your niche is?
Yeah, I think if you just like put yourself in a box, like that's what I was doing. I was like, oh, I'm a girl, so I have to make girl videos. And I quickly found out that is not the case. No one puts you in a box except for yourself, and you don't want to put yourself in a box, so don't. We all do. We all start by putting ourselves, we all want to label things, but when you realize the only person that decides who you are is you, just do you and perform the content that you want and make it, and people will follow.
Okay, so we're going to take a question from Twitter now. Sky and Ella, are you here? Oh, okay. So they have asked, what is your proudest achievement during your YouTube career?
Oh, okay. My proudest achievement was definitely writing my book, because like growing up, I always wrote books. I actually always wrote like fiction. I wrote like fiction novels when I was 12.
I love that.
Yeah, I was like writing. And so when I got approached with my book deal, I was like, I want to write fiction. I was born to write fiction. And they were like, we don't trust you because you're a YouTuber, and we don't know that you can write fiction. I was like, all right, bet. And then they're like, do you want to write a book that's like a memoir in your life? And I was like, no, I'm literally a kid. Like, why would I write a memoir? But then I sat on it and I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to write a book. I can write I don't know, English is my thing, you know, math, I'm so bad at math, but English is my thing, so I was like, I could write a good book, let's do this. And so I wrote my book, and we were talking about yesterday how I put the sexual assault story in that book, and I honestly think, like, I mean, going through that at the time, the only thing that got me through that was me telling myself my life was going to be, like, amazing, and just keep pushing and keep, like, working to create the dream life you always wanted. And so I think the book deal was like God being like, here it is, like, write your story for everyone. And so putting that story in, it made me feel like my life honestly, like, was fulfilled. Like, it was like that moment where I was like, all right, I've come to do what I have to do. I've shared this crazy hardship. Yeah, so definitely the book.
That's kind of the best message back to anyone, any of the naysayers who try and downplay YouTubers. And it's like, well, I've just written a book, so you really can't say anything to that. That must feel kind of nice that you don't even need to say anything. You're just like, here's my book.
Yeah, and like the book, when they first came to me with the publishing deal, everyone that writes a book gets a book editor, and that book editor can either literally write your entire book for you and you just talk to them, or you can like write your book and then they just check for like spelling and like grammatical, like little things like that. They're like the final proofreaders. And so my book editor wrote my entire book, delivered it to me, and I looked at it and I read it and I was like, what the, what? And I was like, I'm writing this book myself 100%, what the heck? And it was the hardest thing ever. Writing a book is so, so hard, and it is so much to take on. It's so stressful. I ended up having to go to therapy for writing this book because it was so intense, and I took a break off of YouTube, as some of you guys know, because of that book. But I'm so proud of it, and I'm so proud to say that I wrote every single word in that book, and like drew the doodle, like everything in that book is me, so.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You should be really proud of that.
Thanks.
Now we've got a question from Zoe Rowan. Zoe Rowan, are you in the house? Oh, hi. Zoe would like to know your thoughts on TikTok, if you've got any.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so back when TikTok was Musical.ly, okay, like I made an account and I made like maybe like 10 TikToks, and like they all did like really well, or not TikToks, Musical.lys. And then I kind of was like, all right, I don't really get this. I'm gonna like slide out of this situation. So I stopped making them, and then like TikTok came along, and I kind of was like, like I'm not gonna like use TikTok. Like that's just too much. And then like literally like 3 days ago, my friend was like, oh, your feed just sucks because you don't like the content that you think is funny. So if you just like TikTok content that you think is funny, your feed will become like super funny.
Ooh.
So I spent like 30 minutes liking TikToks, okay? And now I can't get off of it. My feed is so good. Like everything is funny.
You go into a vortex.
So I can't stop making TikToks now.
Great. So TikTok chick.
Should I like make TikToks or no? Okay, they're fun, so I'm gonna do them regardless. It's like
maybe some coffee TikToks, because Zoe also had a question about, do you prefer US coffee or Australian coffee? I saw on your Instagram you.
and coffee.
Thank you.
100%.
I mean, American coffee is.
It's not good.
It's no good. Sorry if anyone's American in the audience.
It's not good. I'm American, I can see that.
It's not good. Okay, so Lucy Davies.
This corner is
this corner is going
active.
off. What are well, I mean, speaking of things that you prefer, what are 3 things you prefer in Australia over the US?
Okay, let's see, the beaches, Gold Coast, surfing, that's all one.
Yes.
And then the food, oh my God, breakfast in Australia is everything.
We do it well.
And then, oh my gosh, like the boys are so cute. And their accents, oh, I love them.
What is it about the accent?
I don't know.
It does something to you.
It just does something. I don't know. I don't know. I was like, this is so creepy, but like on the flight here, I was like sitting in the seat, and then the flight attendant guy like got on the speaker, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so turned on right now. Like he sounds so sexy.
You fell in love with a flight attendant.
He's probably like 50. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, we're like landing. I was like,
See, to us, that's not really sexy, like the Australian accent, but to you, I find, oh, it's doing something.
It was doing something for me.
Okay, so we also have another question from Zoe. She'd like to know what your life is like off camera.
Ooh, that's a good question. My life off camera is filled with petting my dog a lot, taking a lot of baths and doing face masks. That's what I do like when I'm home alone. And I love to cook. I love to have friends over. Like my house is like that house, like the house where everyone kind of like, it's like the home base, you know?
Yeah.
Because I make my house really cozy because I like love to just stay indoors. So my friends will come over and we'll watch a movie, we'll cook, we'll play with Hanalei, we'll listen to music, and like sometimes we'll edit together if we both have like videos we need to work on or something. And then outside of my house, I love to surf. I love to rock climb. So I'll go down to Malibu as much as I can with my friends and we'll go surfing. We'll have a surf day. And I love having like beach picnics and like sunset picnics. I'm really like, oh, I love to road trip as well. So yeah.
What's your road trip song?
Oh my gosh, anything by like Ben Howard or like Vance Joy. Yeah.
Ooh, Vance Joy, an Australian guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's cute?
I know him.
Ooh, what's happening there?
You know, it's a secret.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. T.
The curls get the girls.
Yeah, we both have curly hair.
Okay,
Yep.
leave that there. Okay, so a bunch of people are asking about me and my grandma. What's happening there? We're getting more?
Me and my grandma. At the time, I don't think we're coming back with that because I'm just working on so many other like script ideas. But yeah, it was a super fun show. Working with Rhea Perlman was like insane. Just getting to be a part of like such an amazing actress.
Now we have a question here from Naomi Rummel. Naomi? Oh, hi.
Hey.
You were speaking before about, you know, when you first jumped on YouTube and you were experimenting, trying beauty videos. But Naomi would like to know what inspired you in the first place to start your channel.
Okay, so I started my channel. I mean, I don't want to make this like a super long story, but basically, when I was younger, I was really good at talking to people and I was really good at giving advice, but I was also good at like writing and like I loved to act and dance and like sing and like all of that. So I was doing a lot. And so I thought I wanted to be like a teacher or like a psychologist or something, but I also loved performing. And so then I got into acting, and then in high school I realized I like just like entertaining people, but as myself more versus like a character.
Right.
And so I started looking for inspirations that kind of did the same thing. And at the time, literally the only person that I could really think of that did everything that I love to do was like Oprah or like Ellen. And because they were like writing, they had their talk show, they could act, they could dance, like they could do all these things. And so I basically decided that I wanted to become Oprah. And so
I still want that to happen. I think you should have
I feel like
show.
I kind of am like my own little like Oprah. No, but so basically I was going into college and I looked up what Oprah went to school for, and she went to school for broadcast journalism. So that's what I chose as my major. And my plan was to go into college and then get my internship at like a news station, and then from there kind of like maybe become like a talk show host, and then from there if people liked me then like I'd get to write and I'd get to sing and I'd get to do all of the things that I wanted to do. And so when I was in college, I found out that I was really good at broadcast journalism and like talking to people, obviously, because I knew that, because that's what I wanted to do. And we were doing these exercises in class where we had to like take a news story and like report it on camera, but like the class was like the camera, and I was like killing it. Like I was so good at it, and everyone else was like so like nervous, and I was like, all right, I want to get really, really good at this. What can I do? So I started a YouTube channel literally just to get like comfortable talking in front of a camera so I could like be really good in my class. And I made videos and I put them on Facebook just for like my Facebook friends to see. And I didn't like unlist them on YouTube, so they were like public. So they were getting views, but I didn't even know it. And I went onto YouTube one day and my videos had like a couple thousand views. And I was like, wait, people are like on YouTube, like watching me, like from a different country, what? And that's kind of like what hooked me in on it, was just the comments were so cool and there were people my age watching my videos. And that's kind of how I started. But I just started YouTube to get like comfortable talking in front of a camera.
That's a very interesting story. So
yeah,
that's kind of like my job, but I just didn't become
a YouTuber.
A world famous YouTuber.
You became a world famous, beautiful lady.
Thank cute. Okay, so Aiden Rome Herman, Vortex Eye. I read one of your questions in another Q&A. Thank you for submitting them. Aiden Vortex Eye would like to know, how was Fashion Week?
Ooh, Fashion Week was cool. This year at Fashion Week, I had a stylist, so that was like really interesting. I think what I took away from this Fashion Week was that all that matters to me is just my friends and genuine people. Because when you're at Fashion Week, it's like, oh my gosh, like the fashion industry is like, if you think like the entertainment industry is like, oh, like stuck up and everything, the fashion, oh my God, like the parties, like people think they're so cool. And I would just show up to these parties and be like, why am I here? If there's no, like none of my close friends here, like there's literally no point. I don't care who's there. I met a lot of really cool people. At Fashion Week, I met Shailene Woodley, and she was really nice. And I met Youngblood, who like I have a crush on low-key, and now we're friends.
He's got a hot accent. British.
Yeah, he's cool. But yeah, so I met him. He's super cool. I met Candace Swanepoel.
Ooh,
she was
Victoria's Secret
beautiful.
Angel.
Yeah, they were all really nice. But yeah, I definitely learned at Fashion Week. All of the glitz and the glamour does not, like, I'd rather just be with my friends.
Yeah, we have a fashion week in Sydney, and it's like so low tier compared to that. But I went a couple of times because there is a really famous blogger called Lisa Hamilton also, and they accidentally sent me invites to sit in the front row, and so I was like, I went along and they kicked me out because I was the wrong Lisa Hamilton.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
But I stood my ground. I was like, I'm Lisa Hamilton.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
And all the snobby fashion people were like,
oh yeah, the fashion people are very crazy.
I was crying on the inside. Anyway, all right, we have Kayla, 14692. Where you at? Oh, hi. Okay, so Kayla would like to know, what is the most important thing you have learned through fame and a dedicated fan base?
I think the most important thing that I've learned is just how powerful having a voice is and how you should use it for good. It's crazy, like the older you get, and not even like the older you get, but just the more wiser you get, and you can get super wise when you're literally like 5 years old. But the more that you learn, you just realize how many things you care about, how many things deserve a voice that maybe they don't have a voice, and you learn to stick up for those things. And so I've been really passionate about like environmental conservation, and I was actually in Australia like a couple months ago to do some work for the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah, we're going to save it.
Yeah, that's cool. So I did a documentary on that, if you guys want to watch it on YouTube. It's called 50 Minutes to Save the World.
How do we do it? How do we save the Great Barrier Reef?
Oh gosh, the Great Barrier Reef, stop using not reef safe sunscreen. So look up the ingredients in your sunscreen, and if there's like 4 top ones that are very bad for the reefs, don't use those. Just use natural zinc sunscreens. And what else? Stop eating so much meat. I'm not going to tell you to like don't eat meat, but yeah, just take it down a little bit and buy your food from responsible farms if you do eat meat and fish. Yeah. Oh, also don't eat like farm fish. I'm sure you guys know that, but like,
how do you know if it's?
You just ask the restaurant.
Okay.
Like if it's like salmon on the menu, you just are like, oh, is this like wild? And if they're like, I'm gonna ask the chef, just don't eat it because it's like. It's gross. It's nasty. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. Just watch the documentary.
I think it's really awesome that people like you who have a really big platform are speaking out on things about climate change. Do you have any plans to do more and maybe make some more content about it? And yeah, what are your thoughts on it all?
Yeah, it's cool because a lot of my best friends are people that I look up to, and like if I have someone that I look up to, I like want to become their friend. Like I'll literally slide in the DMs and I'll be like, you're really dope. Can I like be friends with you? So a lot of my friends are people that I just genuinely was like, I was super stoked on them, and I was like, oh, you're like doing so many cool, good things for the environment. So I'm constantly surrounded by people that are doing amazing things. Like I have a friend that's a shark tagger that's like stopping like shark catching boats in like Indonesia. Like I have like the craziest friends. So I'm very fortunate where I can like hop onto projects that they're doing and support them. And so like the Great Barrier Reef project was a project that my friend Amir did. childhood, and he allowed me to come onto that trip and be a part of it. And so, yeah, there's definitely always plans for I have a lot of friends that are just going to like the climate marches, and yeah, so.
I think you need to link up with the Hemsworth brothers and maybe do a collab with them.
The Hemsworth, like the actors?
Yeah.
Oh, oh, oh. They're
Yeah,
cute.
I think
Oh my God,
they-
isn't that like Miley's ex?
Yeah, I'm still not over it.
I'm not
It's
over that.
very, very sad. Yeah, no, they all live in Byron. They're huge, like, conservationists. So I think maybe
Cool.
maybe hit them up, slide into the DMs.
They're a little out of my league.
No. Okay, so Chloe.
I'll take Vance Joy.
Yeah, I'll link you up. I'm really good friends with them. Okay, Chloe would like to know, what's your inspiration in life?
Oh gosh, my inspiration in life. I think it's just doing everything that like I always wanted to do. Like I had so many like goals and dreams, and all of it was just boiled down to like helping other people, because like my childhood was rough, and then went to high school, that was rough, and then the whole like sexual assault thing happened, and then my life got rougher, and at 14 I was like, what is my life? Like literally I was so depressed. I was like in a very, very, very bad mindset, and I was crying every day. I was in my bed. I was like having the worst time of my life, and I told my parents finally. I was like, I'm depressed. Like we were fighting, and I was like, I'm depressed, and I started crying, and they got mad at me.
Why?
Because I don't blame them. I think it was because I was their first like child, so they probably didn't know how to handle that, and they were going through like stresses themselves. So I didn't like. Obviously, it hurt, and it was like really confusing, but it makes sense, and I don't blame them for that. But it was 14 where I was sitting in my room crying every day, and I was like very bad headspace, and then one day I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm crying every day. That's not getting me anywhere. It's not getting me anywhere. If I cry every single day, I'm just gonna be crying and crying. Like, I'm not proactively doing anything to fix the problems that I feel inside. And I didn't have the money at the time to go to like therapy. I didn't have the support system to even like help me through that the natural way. I had to be it for myself. And so I literally dug myself out of depression at 14. And I did it simply just by writing lists of everything that I was passionate about. I wrote lists, and I tried to figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up and what would fulfill me the most. And I'd cross out things that didn't really like. It was like, how do I explain it? Like trial and error or something, like, like crossing out and then like narrowing it down. And then finally I chose broadcast journalism. And I started like emailing companies at 14. I was like, I live in Orange County, but like, if I like somehow make it to New York City, can I tour your office? Like, I want to write for you. And I was emailing like 17.
That's so cute.
Yeah, like of course I never got a reply. And I also never got jobs at like traditional like places. Like I tried to get a job at Cold Stone, they wouldn't hire me. Like I never got like traditional jobs, so I found ways to become an entrepreneur, and I like sold brownies at my school to afford like to buy clothes, and I sold my clothes online and like all these things. And I'm very fortunate for having to go through that and having to have a harder path to success, because it made me smarter and more entrepreneurial and find avenues that no one was really looking in. And so I guess like my biggest inspiration in life, to bring it back to the question, is just to show people that like when you limit yourself like I did, when you put yourself in a box and you're like, I'm depressed, woe is me, I'm never going to make it in what I want to do because this, and that are factors that are limiting me. Like, of course, it's not going to happen. Until you break those barriers, that's when you finally start on the trajectory to living your dreams. And so if I can inspire people to do that and show them like, hey, my life was really, really not like handing me everything that I wanted, and I somehow made it happen, you can too. That's literally just what inspires me.
I think it's so amazing that you are really open about talking about mental health, because there is still today a huge stigma around speaking about it. What would be your number one piece of advice to any of your followers out there who might be struggling right now?
I'll always remember this moment. Growing up in high school's hard, obviously we all know. And it wasn't until I graduated, I had this friend, Ian, and we were graduated from high school. It was the summer after we graduated, and he said something where he was like, oh, I can't afford to go shopping, so I have to go to the thrift store. And at the time, that was when like Macklemore's song came out, and everyone started thrifting because it was cool. And he said that, he was like, oh yeah, I've been shopping at the thrift store for, since I was little. And I was like, me too. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, like we go to the Goodwill like once a week to buy clothes. Like I never got clothes from like the mall. And just because he was open enough to say that, and then I was like, wait, me too, like all my life. And he's like, same. It made me realize everyone is going through something, but no one wants to tell anyone what they're going through. And the second that you are brave enough to like start that conversation, you would literally be so surprised how many of your friends in your circle are going through the same thing or different things that like they need help with. And I was like, damn, like I wish you would have told me that like freshman year, because that would have made me like have someone to bond with. And ever since then, I just tell people like, you should never be afraid to talk about what you're going through, because like the second that you open up, it makes a space for everyone to open up. And like there's no judgment if you have a no judgment zone with your friends, because like people have barriers, but if you can say, hey, I have a barrier, but like I'm gonna take it away, that's like enough for a lot of people to take their barriers away. And I think we need more of that.
And I guess the online community is, sometimes people can say it's not a great space, but there's definitely a lot of positive aspects that can come out of it. What's kind of, in your mind, the safest way to interact online with the community if you are sort of seeking help?
I think going into it, the internet is like a very, very great place, and also it's a very dark place. There's a lot of like really bad people that'll hurt you, but everyone knows that. So if you just go onto the internet knowing there's amazing people to find, there's also some really crappy people that are going to bring you down, nothing can really hurt you. Like you've prepped yourself. It's like the thing where it's like, oh, like I know this is gonna hurt me, so if it hurts me, like I already know, so it's not gonna sting as bad. But I know going into it, if I send a tweet where I'm like, wow, I hate ketchup, like I'm gonna get people that are like, oh my God, me too. And I'm like, dude, like we hate ketchup.
Found your people.
And then I'm gonna get people that are like, ew, what the heck? Like ketchup for life. Like you're gonna get back and forth, you're gonna get both sides, and I'm prepared for it. I can read every tweet. Like someone can say the most negative thing about me and I can like boldface read it and be like, okay, I'm gonna keep living my life.
That's a nice response. Okay, so we have a question from Monique Barnes. Hi. Okay, so Monique would like to know, and I don't really understand the question, but I feel like you're going to have a profound response. Okay, so if you could ask your future self one question, what would it be? So we're going in the future.
I would say, do I end up marrying Brent? Like.
Okay, so there's a lot of questions that are coming through here about Brent. Do we want to go there?
Yeah, we can go. We can talk about Brent.
Okay, what's going on?
It's so funny. It's so funny because like even our closest friends will be like, "Yo, like, what's going on?" And we're just like, we don't even know. Like, we're as equally as confused as everyone else.
Okay, so that's all we're gonna get?
Yeah. It's just, Brent's like amazing. Like he's my best friend. So. Do you think you will get married? Part of me is like, absolutely not. And then part of me is like, dang, like, it's like I can see that. We're both from Orange County, like our families love each other. Like we have cute little sleepovers and like I miss him a lot.
Maybe it's meant to be.
Maybe, who knows? We'll see. We'll see someday.
Can we all come to the wedding?
Imagine.
Everyone here. That's cool, right?
Oh my God, marrying Brent. What?
You just said that.
I'm like really trying to think about that. Like what? We would argue so much, but it'd be funny.
But like you need a little something like that in a relationship. There's got to be. Okay, so Kiki wants to know, what is your favorite video ever that you've filmed?
Ooh. Ooh. That is so hard. Someone just asked me this and I literally couldn't think of an answer. Maybe any of just like the high school you versus child you videos, because like those are so funny. We just like every time I film those videos, there's no script. We just I just like, my mind goes like nuts whenever I make sketch videos. I never plan anything. Like I plan like costumes and like little ideas, but if you watch like, I don't know, like I did this this one is high school you versus child you birthdays. And like suddenly I was in my house like creating like Kardashian wigs and like a clown wig, and I had balloons and like, I don't know, it's just, those are the most fun because it's like, I feel like my creativity really like shines through that.
I think
It's fun.
they're the best ones to watch as well. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're pretty.
Get a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Good viewing. Okay, so I think I know the answer to this, but extra Akram Michael VidCon. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say that. Okay, do you feel like there's more that you want to achieve and do in life, or do you feel fine as you are now? Love you at the end
love
there.
you too, hey. So there's so much that I want, there's like so much that I want to do. I'm the type of person where I'm never like fulfilled, you know? Like I always want to do something. And so I guess like on the non-YouTube side, I definitely want to do more conservation work. I want to do more stuff for animals, so that's like a constant thing that I'm working on. I want to learn how to rock climb like a mountain. Like I want to do like, you know, like not like free solo, but like,
that terrifies me.
yeah, like I'm not gonna like free solo something, but like I want to like do it with the ropes. But like I want to be like camping in like the little like, you know, portal holes or whatever. I want to do that, and then I want to swim with a whale. So I'm going to make that happen. I want to swim with sharks. So I'm going to
In a cage?
yeah. No, not in a cage. I've surfed with sharks before, like a couple times.
Everything you're saying is terrifying me, but you
No,
you
they're
do
chill.
you.
They're good. They're good. I'm more scared of like jellyfish.
Ooh.
They're scary.
You know what you have to do if you get bitten by a
Pee.
jellyfish? Yeah.
But that's not going to work because I pee pretty much like immediately when I get into the ocean. So my reserve is going to be like out.
We're trying to save the planet, not pee in the ocean.
Hey, the pee is fine, okay? The pee is fine. And then on the like YouTube and like side of that work side, I really want to learn music production. So I'm teaching myself literally every day. I want to make music. For other people, for me, I don't really know, but I just know I have a lot of musical like creativity and energy like built up
That needs to get out.
it just needs to get out.
Okay.
So
In an album.
in an album, in a song for like someone, if I could produce for someone, like I'm having so much fun with all of it. Like I'll have friends come over and they'll just jam, and I'll be on the computer like making them a song while they're just jamming, and it's like the most fun. And I have like a full studio, I have piano, like a booth, I have DJ equipment, like everything.
I just love that you are this tiny thing bursting with creativity. You just gotta get it out of you.
Yeah, especially music. And I've been writing music since I was little. Like the same time that I was writing books when I was a kid, I was like writing songs in journals and like throwing them under my bed, which I think about a lot because like I've never been able to find those notebooks, and I've definitely moved away from home, so like my family's definitely found a lot of like songs, and that's embarrassing.
I would love for you to find one of those and just read those lyrics.
I still remember a lot of like the lyrics from.
Can you say some now?
Ooh, gosh. No.
Putting you on the spot here.
They're embarrassing.
Okay, so we have a question from Youthful Colleen. Oh, hi. Okay, so where is somewhere that you'd like to travel that you haven't been to yet?
Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never been to Africa, so. Oh, no, I've been to Africa. I've been to Morocco, but like I want to go like on a safari and like, I don't know, like help the animals and do some. I always wanted to take nature photography. Like I want to like take photos of like elephants living and stuff. So.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the show Lunatics?
No.
Oh. Okay,
What
so
is it?
we have this comedian called Chris Lilly, and he's got this new show called Lunatics, and there's a character, Yana. Anyone know Yana? And yeah, so basically she's a pet psychic. She goes
nice.
to Africa and she tries to find her aardvark. And I think you'd really like that show.
Oh my
You gotta
gosh,
watch it. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
You'd really enjoy it. Okay, Natasha the aardvark. Okay, so we have Jessica Cook, who would like to know. Jessica Cook? Hi. Okay, so Jessica would like to know if you could tell your future self anything, what would you say?
If I could tell, why does my mind just go to Brent?
I know, I'm just like,
I'm like, do we still live in Orange County?
yeah, you've got 3 kids.
Oh, God. If I could ask my future self, I mean, I've been to a few psychics. They're so scary because real facts have happened, like crazy. Every time I go to a psychic, something like genuinely real happens, and it's the scariest thing literally ever. So I don't like to ask my future self many things anymore. So that's why I'm just like, well, the psychics already told me I'm gonna marry Brent, so I'll just ask Brent questions.
You don't want to mess with it too much.
It is
like,
it is crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Like I went to one like last year, and the lady read my tarot cards, and she was like, "Oh, this one means that usually someone's gonna get into an accident or like get an injury," and I was like, "Oh, weird. Like that's super weird." And she was like, "Oh, well, it could have already happened. Did you get into a car accident any like time lately?" And I was like, "No, I haven't been in a car accident since I was like 12." And she's like, "All right, well, just be really careful, watch out, like, you know, like just take care of yourself." And I was like, okay, weird. And it was 2 cards that said that I was gonna get injured or like in an accident. And so I go home and my friends are like, don't pay that any attention, like, don't put that into your mind, whatever. So literally a month later on the dot, I'm driving on the freeway straight. So it's like not even like I could have done anything about it. And a lady is texting and driving and rear ends me, and I end up with 2 herniated discs. Like, what the heck? So then it dawned on me, I was like, oh my God, the psychic. Like, I hadn't been in an accident in like 10 years. And so then my car got fixed, and then a month to the dot later, I came home and someone had totaled my car outside my house in the driveway. So 2 accidents.
She was bang on.
Like, what the heck? So I don't mess with that stuff anymore.
Don't want to mess with it? Okay, so we have time for one final question. And a lot of people have been asking about this. This one comes from Tissy Allen? Tissy Allen? So sorry if that's incorrect pronunciation. How was your experience in Escape the Night Season 1?
Oh my God, Escape the Night is the most fun show ever. Like, I tell Joey every season, I'm like, I would be on that show like in a second. Like, it was so fun because I love like scary things and like mystery. I love mystery. Like, I love reading mystery. I love watching mystery. And so to be a part of it and to genuinely not know what's going to happen next, because they don't tell the cast. Like, Joey knows, and I don't even know if Joey knows everything, but they don't tell the cast, so you're genuinely living in like a mystery, and it's really cool. But Joey's always said that he's gonna bring back like the winners for like season 5. I think they're on season 4 now, so season 5. So maybe next season, if they stick to that plan, I'll get to come back.
How good.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much. The time has gone so quickly. We're done.
know.
But yeah, I really appreciate you having a chat with us, and thank you everyone for coming out.
Thank you guys. Thanks.